Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Grim Reader, here today with a genealogical update. I did get my DNA results back and there's not really any big surprises, but the way they decided to allocate the percentages, which you can see here, I'm hiding what they are actually. They went with the biggest one here, this green color. The second biggest is here, and then we have these other ones, and then there's these other parts of the pie, so to speak. And I think it's kind of interesting how they decided to. So you get percentages, and some of the percentages they decided to go with the estimate most, and take that one. And then the second one, my second biggest part of my DNA, 20%. That was the low end. It could go up to 40%. That's what they say. And I'm being vague because I'm sort of like drum rolling the results. And I do remember I was sitting in the car next to Bill. We were driving to probably a doctor's appointment and then a little outing that we do. And my first instinct was to be a little disappointed, but then I'm not disappointed at all to have this as my number one. I'm almost a quarter of this ethnicity. It's just not exactly what I expected. I didn't think that would be the number one ethnicity. And so if you're wondering, from without the DNA, I know a lot about my ancestor. I have thousands of people in my tree, but I know that my father was German and he was born in now Poland, but back then it was part of Germany, part of Prussia, I guess, or Pomerania. He was born in a town called Stettin. And then my mother was born in New Zealand to parents who were both a mixture of what I thought, like, I didn't really know that much about her father's background. Now I know a lot. But her mother was part Maori a little bit, and then also whatever else, other things that were in there. British, I thought basically just British, English, whatever. But it turns out, and I kind of should have realized this, that if we click down here, drum roll, what is this big chunk of green here? Let's have a look, see. It's Irish. I was like, oh, I'm almost a quarter Irish, which is funny to me, but makes a lot of sense if you look, especially so her going back to a lot of the people that were with Maori women basically were Irish men. And they had come to, there's a famous Irishman that came to Tasmania and then New Zealand, Frederick Manning. But then going back to her father, Mr. Lockett, who died in the Second World War on Crete, his family they're basically all Irish, but they went to Australia and then New Zealand. So there is a lot of Irish ancestry in my DNA. And of course, number 2 is Germanic. And so let me click on here. So see, they went with the highest that it could be. They went with that one. But then if you go back to Germany, and I do have to talk about this one too, but Germanic Europe could go up to 41%. But they just kind of went split down the middle. Maybe because of the next one down, which is a little, what's the word? Confusing, or not quite what it looks like, something else, because it looks like Eastern European or Russian, and not really Russian or Polish at all, ethnically speaking, because my father was born in a place that was, back then it was German. I mean, his town was completely German. And I mean, I don't really know much about the area, but I know that he was born in Stettin, and back then that was part of Germany. And so coming back here, to be honest, I was a tiny bit disappointed that according to this one, there's only 4% Maori, but in a way it makes sense. You have to go back to this guy from Ireland, Frederick Manning, who married a Maori princess, and she was completely Maori Maoingaroa. And that's how I get the 4%. And then it goes down from there, like, her daughter, his first son with her, Haraki, and fathered my great-great-grandmother with my great-great-great-grandmother, who was Irish Maori. Also, what's a little bit sad, but actually not that unusual, is that she was extremely young when she had the great-grandmother. She was like 14. Anyway, but that's just, back in the day. And it was a bit surprising to me that this one is so high, 13% Sweden, Denmark. But I'm guessing, I don't know. And so another thing you can do here is you can look at, there's other ways to sort of picture it all. You can look at the parents, how this parent split up. I'm trying to see if I can find it quickly. I don't want to make this too long. Story. Can you click on them? How do I get to the parent stuff? Yeah. Yeah, and there's at least one new cousin. Here we go. Click on this. Inheritance. View breakdown. So what's quite useful. So the maternal side is over here, and the maternal, paternal, and with me, it's pretty clear who's who. There's not really any of the ethnicities that overlap. Maybe, like at some point, someone in the maternal side married a Danish person, but it's all they say that's from the paternal side too. So it's kind of clear. Ireland is from the mother. German is from the father. Eastern is also from the father. England is from the mother. Sweden, Denmark from the father. Maori from the mother. Wales from the mother. Baltics from the father, which, okay, Scotland from the mother, and Hawaii from the mother. Because, way back, someone from Hawaii went to New Zealand. Aotearoa. So, yeah, I think it's kind of fun to look at my DNA and see break it all down for you. And that's how I kind of wouldn't mind my sister doing it to see if she gets a different result. And so, yeah, that's all there is to it. And I will get this up. This is just a kind of little genealogical overview. My tree is extensive and I have a lot of fun playing around in it and looking at all the famous people in it and their weird stories, which, I won't regale you with right now. Yeah, it's never ending, but it's fun. This is where, and see, even up here, this is my grandfather's parents were basically both Irish, but they went to Australia, and then New Zealand. The Maddens and the Locketts and the Beatties. There's a lot of Beatties, lots of Beatties. And like this is my mother, my great grandmother. This is getting back to the Irish Maori connection. See, that's my great grandmother, and she was extremely young when she had, so 1847, and then was born 1860. So that's like 13. Oh my gosh. Yeah, very, very young. And then when they're so young, I do have to wonder about how, because they didn't get married. I wonder, there's stuff going on there that's interesting, because he married someone else. And then she went on to marry someone else too. She married a Maori gentleman, and they had lots and lots of kids, like 20, like so many children. And it's fun because I found a lot of pictures of them all, and I love it when I find a picture of someone. So these are all aunties and uncles, Maori aunties and uncles. Actually, yeah, she married a Maori gentleman, and then had a lot of Maori kids who went on to marry other Maori people. So that's pretty interesting and cool. I like that. Anyway, but then over here, this is my side of things. Yeah, that's enough for today. I know this is not of interest to everyone, but it's a little niche project, hobby of mine. Let me know about if you've done your DNA, what results you have found, and if there's any kind of surprising things that you found. Talk to you later. Bye.